If I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York, New York.
How we doing, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast here on Facebook Live and YouTube. Here with me, as usual, my co-host, my dude, Mr. Idris Salam, a.k.a. Bosco from the Bronx.
That's that John Cena. What's up, y'all?
Yeah, I heard that. But this is not a farewell tour. Idris is not retiring.
Oh, no, farewell
He's
tour.
not retiring from the podcast.
No. We got a few years for that.
On tonight's show, we're going to be hitting on, of course, Week 4 in the National Football League. We're also going to hit on the final day of the Major League season, and this man right here, Idris Salam, predicted that the Brewers would hold on in the second half to be the number 1 seed, and that is exactly what happened by virtue of the Philadelphia Phillies loss. The Milwaukee Brewers are the number 1 seed going into the MLB playoffs in the National League. Tomorrow, the New York Yankees, as well as the Toronto Blue Jays, will be hosting their games. The Yankees against the Orioles, the Blue Jays against the Tampa Bay Rays. And if Tampa wants to be thankful and appreciative for giving them our minor league stadium for the season with the impeccable George Steinbrenner statue in front, they can do us the grandest of favors and go beat those Blue Jays tomorrow, and the Yankees will be the number 1 seed in the Major League playoffs as opposed to the 4. That is what's at stake tomorrow in MLB. We're going to hit on it towards the end of the show. But we are starting on the gridiron. Cincinnati Bengals, they are traveling to Ireland. Just kidding. I got this all jacked up. What am I talking about here? Bear with me.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just hit on Week 3. There we go. The Minnesota Vikings at 2-1 are traveling to Pittsburgh to take on the 2-1 Steelers, except it's not really in Pittsburgh, it's in Ireland. Can this be a get-right game for the Steelers defense? I asked that in question. Jordan Addison makes his debut after serving a 3-game suspension. There's also some quarterback stuff in this particular game as the Minnesota Vikings, for a second consecutive week, are going to be rolling with our guy, Carson Wentz. Gets another start, this time out of the country. The well-traveled Carson Wentz will be at the helm for the Vikings one more time. In the early going, I'll say this. Aaron Rodgers had that blow-up game Week 1. We know about that. But the Steeler defense, which was touted all offseason and most years as just a damn good unit, has been underperforming, particularly against the run. And on the contrary, and on the challenge mark, that is what the Minnesota Vikings do so well. So,
Go ahead.
No, you just what's given here? Something's got to give here. What's given here?
I think with Minnesota, I'm going to put this on Kevin O'Connell when it comes to J.J. McCarthy. He never got that kid any work done preseason. When he started game 1, that was basically his preseason. So he never got really any NFL reps, even going back to last season. So
And it
pretty
was wacky.
much,
He had that big fourth quarter.
yeah. So this goes on him. Good to get Jordan Addison back because they're going to need him. They're definitely going to need him. I think Carson Wentz is smart enough. I see him as Baker Mayfield and other top quarterbacks who were talent coming out of college and just didn't live up to expectation. I think he's auditioning this season for a job like Sam Darnold did, prior. I think he can get the job done. That Pittsburgh got to be able to stop the run, dude. I don't know what they got to be able to stop the run because they're gonna go run heavy. They got to stop the run, man.
And Mason, formerly of the 49ers, who was a good player when he played, but he didn't get a lot of opportunities unless somebody got injured because they have a deep running back room over there.
Mm-hmm.
He's been taking the touches.
Yep.
They have Aaron Jones, who's been a wily veteran in this league for a good while.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of years ago, had a phenomenal playoff game against the Dallas Cowboys, which made Green Bay at the time the first 7 seed to ever advance. That still holds true. I think that my question could be answered here, that this could be a get-right game for the Steelers defense.
Yeah.
This is my thing. Do I think Carson Wentz is going to look as good as he did 2 consecutive weeks? I mean, it's possible. But I think that when you're reinserting Jordan Addison into this game, into this lineup, in due time, it's going to help everybody else.
Yeah.
Adam Thielen will eat better. Oddly enough, Adam Thielen didn't eat better as the 2 because at this stage of his career, he doesn't need to be a 2.
You're right, Troy. You're right. You're welcome to come on the show, man.
Troy, give me a second, dude. I'm going to hit your messenger.
Yeah. Once he comes back, it's going to open the field up for Thielen and Jefferson more like it did. It'll be like it was in old times when Kirk Cousins was there. Do I think Wentz is Kirk Cousins? Yeah, I think he is. When he got his head on straight. When he got his head on straight, he's a good quarterback. But that's his problem. It's mental. It's all mental because the guy has the skills, but it's all mental in him. So I think that's what it's going to come down to. I think the running game, they're going to have to get the running game going. Both teams going to have to get the running game going. My concern, like I said, is Pittsburgh being able to stop the run. That's my concern. So, but we'll see. I'm going to give my prediction now. I'm going to go. Dang. I think Pittsburgh. I'm going to go Pittsburgh 24, Minnesota 21.
Yeah, Troy, just bear with me, buddy. I'm working on that right on my end now.
Yeah, you're echoing, man.
Trying to send you the link. I got two windows open.
That'll be in just a second.
Yeah, you're echoing.
Still not going through. Just bear with me, Troy.
Well, I'll talk to you. Get that right. Pittsburgh's got to start the run in, and I think Aaron Rodgers got to get back on his game like he was game 1 against the Jets. The last week he didn't look all particularly well. You got to get the ball to your receivers, man. They got to get the running game going. Pittsburgh has a team, like I said, they touted their defense all off season and all during the preseason. Yeah, it's going to be da 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 da. But we hadn't seen it yet. Even against the Jets, they gave up a ton of points. So, well, we'll see. We'll see. But I gave my prediction 24-21. Pittsburgh wins. I think both quarterbacks will have a pretty decent day. I think Rodgers will have a real good day. Yeah.
I look for Mason to continue to do what he's been doing.
Yeah.
But one theme in a lot of these overseas games, it's been fumbles by running backs late in games. It's a weird thing that has unfortunately constantly happen. I'm going to bring in Troy, and then I'm going to finish my point here and let Troy get at this. Troy, welcome to the show.
We need we do need a Commanders fan up in here.
How you doing, Troy? Good to have you. How you doing, buddy?
I'm ready for tomorrow.
Hey, dude, We've been trying to get a Commanders fan in here for the longest. We could never get him to come in.
Yeah.
We are happy you're here.
Absolutely.
Idris,
Troy,
I
I'm
know
going to
you.
introduce you to the audience before we go any further so they can get to know you a little.
Yeah.
Troy's been following our show for a while now. He is, of course, also is friends with our guys from the Basement Show, the Sports Corner, what they're evolving into now, Joe Gal, and, of course, Mr. Johnny Nast. Troy, I know you love the Capitals. I know you love the Commanders. What else do you want the viewing audience to know about you, Troy?
I'm a Special Olympics athlete.
Oh,
Which
word.
I think is quite phenomenal. And what is your experience? And what is your go-to in terms of playing? What do you like to play more than any other sport?
Video games.
I love that answer. You and my little man would get along quite well.
Me too.
Yeah,
Let me
I
ask
know.
you this before we go any further. What is your favorite game?
Madden 26.
Love that answer. Love that answer.
I know Idris from a group that we're in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in the NFC East trash or realm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Idris is well known. Idris is well known on socials. Sometimes he gets a lot of people going, and that's part of like the aura of the man they call the Mixtician. He also is on live65.com. Troy, check out the radio station when you get a chance. It's really cool. I'll send you the link over for Idris's stuff. So we're going to go back to the game for a moment here, gentlemen. Minnesota Vikings at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Idris already dropped his prediction with the neutral field game. Pittsburgh 24, Minnesota 21. I think this is a game where the Steelers defense finally comes to play.
Mhm.
And I think there's going to be an extra motivation, guys, on the shoulders of Aaron Rodgers, because he was not wanted by the Minnesota Vikings coming into the year, but he really wanted them. And anybody that knows anything about Aaron Rodgers is he's a very prideful individual. And
He
sometimes
is.
some would suggest narcissistic, egomaniacal, but one of the greatest players to ever play that position. I think Rodgers is going to get right in this game and look a little more like the dude that we saw flashes of in week 1 in his other revenge game against the Jets. There is some revenge games on the slate. He also plays Green Bay this year, which should be a lot of fun. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers in a hard-fought, low-scoring victory. I'm going Pittsburgh 23, Minnesota 20. And I've got a Chris Boswell field goal ending it as regulation ends out. I got a Boswell field goal for the dub. Troy, how do you see this one playing out on a neutral field?
I'm going Pittsburgh 27-20.
Word. There it is.
All right, so we're all on the Steelers. Do you think, Troy, do you think Rodgers has that kind of ball-out game, or do you think this is going to be more predicated on just a little more smash mouth and kind of just running it into that game of just, physicality and field position?
I think Rodgers does good.
All right. I like it. Troy. Thanks for popping in, by the way. Good to have you here today. Philadelphia Eagles, I know your boys from the Basement Show, root for those guys, are traveling to Tampa, which is not that far from me. They're both undefeated. This is a potential NFC title game preview. It could be. Tampa definitely going to feel the loss of Mike Evans in this one.
Yeah.
As the, Buccaneers, that's been their go-to guy and Mr. Reliable. Hamstring injuries are tricky, so I expect that they're going to be responsible, take their time. You got Emeka Egbuka, the rookie, going to take a big leap into the number 1 spot and really try to test the Philadelphia secondary as the Eagles go, still kind of waiting for that signature Saquon Barkley game. The wide receivers numbers have been down off of fantasy expectations as they are a run-first, run-always team. But I do believe that Mr. Aaron Moorhead will have that receiving room ready to perform at a high level. And I think this could be kind of a surprise where the pass game actually opens up the run, as opposed to Philly being so predictable. And, Drew Brees, very opinionated on the matter, saying that the Eagles offense is just flat out boring. My reply to that, even though I can't stand the Eagles, is winning is always fun, no matter how you do it.
Yep.
I'm going to wait for dropping my prediction. Troy, I'll start with you, then we'll pass it back to Idris. What are you looking for in this particular game, buddy?
I'm looking for the Eagles to win again.
4-0, huh? Perfect September?
Yes,
Johnny
sir.
Nast, what's up, brother?
What up,
Mr.
Johnny?
Ness in the build. You
Joe
know what?
Gal also hanging with us.
He shows up when we start talking about the Eagles. Ain't that so?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's like the bat signal. It just kind of popped out.
Him and Joe G, both of them.
Yeah, they're here. Guys, if you haven't already, make it a point to like and subscribe to the Sports Corner. I like the ideas that these guys have cooking over there, so definitely make it a point to check out these guys. Absolutely give these guys a look. Yeah, they're lurking. No question.
Yeah.
Johnny,
See,
Joe, at any point, if you guys want to pop in, just let me know. All right, so you got the Eagles winning. Do you think this is the kind of game where Saquon gets going, Troy, or do you think it's going to kind of be the slow-moving
What? Yeah, I'm on a podcast.
I'm going to kill Das, man.
It's okay.
I'm going to kill Das. He's not going to let me go with that. You're talking. Troy had to go.
That's okay.
I'm going to take off from what he said. What you asked. I think he gets going this time. I don't think he's gonna go for like 200, but I think he'll get 100 or something. I mean, Tampa Bay's defense is good. They're good. But I think Saquon just having a rough end. It's early, but I think he'll get going this time. I'm going Eagles also. I mean, Tampa's ball. I don't know, man. Man, I'm flipping. I'm going Tampa, man.
You going Tampa?
I'm going Tampa.
Not me, brother. I don't like the fact that Mike Evans is not going to be playing in this game.
Wait, did I say Tampa?
Yeah.
No, I meant No, I forgot about Mike Evans.
Nice.
Go Philly.
Nice. I
think the Eagles are going to actually put on some offense in this one. I know Joe Gal, I was on their show the other day. He, and I quote, or pretty much almost on point quote, that he said something along the lines of that he believes they have been fortunate because they've been getting away with not playing 4 full quarters.
Yeah.
And a lot of teams at this point of the year will be accused of that.
Yeah.
I think this is a week where, as I said, the pass opens up the run. I think you're going to have one big-time Barkley run that gets them going. I think Philly's going to be scoring 30 this week. And I think the Bucs, between the frustration of not having Mike Evans there, and I do think that they're going to get after Baker Mayfield a little more than he's been used to this year. Give me Philadelphia 30. Give me Tampa 23. I think Tampa kicks like a super late field goal with maybe like about 3 minutes left, maybe less than 3 minutes, and they look to get a stop on the Eagles, and unfortunately the stop just doesn't come. That's how I think this is going to play out. So we're all on the Eagles, I believe.
Yeah, I'm going to go 24-21, just like the other game. I think it'll be close.
And what's interesting, because Philly over the years has struggled in Tampa in general.
I'm going Tampa Bay, man. I don't care, Mike.
Man, you're everywhere with this.
I'm going Tampa Bay. I don't care what Johnny Nash said about me being sleepy. I'm going Tampa Bay.
I'm going Philly 31-24.
31-24. So you got Philly by a score. All right. Yeah, fellas, I think that this is the week where you see Barkley just kind of bust one out. Like this is the week where he gets some points that everybody's been waiting for.
I believe so. I mean, I don't think he's gonna be a scrub. I think he's gonna ball out. I don't think it's gonna be in a situation where he don't do it. Because Barkley's bound to bust out. Because even with the Giants, you never really saw him go 3 games and not really have a booming day. I'm not listening to no more Philly people for the rest of the day.
They are having fun with you. They are having fun with you.
I'm done with the city of Philly. Man. We'll see y'all in 2 weeks, damn it. But anyway, yeah, I think Saquon's gonna bust out because guys like him.
It's a complicated relationship, as you guys know.
Yeah.
His cousin happens to be the wide receiver coach of those same Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
There are giant roots in that family.
Yes.
As Emery, the father of Aaron, was actually drafted by the Giants in the late 70s, of course, but his brightest moment in the NFL was being part of the legendary 1985 Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
Aaron, almost 20 years later, won a Super Bowl as part of the Indianapolis Colts squad.
Yep.
But enough about those Eagles for now, anyway.
The Eagles. We got too many in the chat right now.
LA Chargers going to East Rutherford, New Jersey, 3-0 versus 0-3. The Giants turn to rookie quarterback Jackson Dart to save their season and some jobs. The Chargers have used the brand of, as Mike Zappi would say, and Mike Zappi's here, look at this, bully ball to get off to a perfect start. Can they avoid a trap game L against a desperate Giants team? Idris, I'm going to start with you, and then we'll go around the horn here. Mr. Zappi, welcome to the show. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah. Mr.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, let me get mine in before Zappy, because Zappy been going in on the Giants. I know. I say this every week. I feel confident we're going to win. I'm going to say it this week. I feel confident we're going to win. I got my faith in Jackson Dart. I got his twin brother on my Madden, Braxton Dart. He's leading me to a Super Bowl. Jackson Dart. Hey, I got a player look just like Jackson. His name is Braxton Dart. He's leading me to the Super Bowl. Now, Jackson Dart ain't gonna do the same thing this year, but I think he'll win us some games. But as for tomorrow, I think the Chargers I think they'll overlook us, and I think we might sneak one out this time. I don't care what the Eagles people say. Oh, I take that back. Joe G said, "Oh, my bad, Joe."
Y'all heard Thursday, man. I think the G-Man take it. Yeah, Joe did illustrate a picture where he could see it being the quintessential trap game. And it is. I mean, it's been a hot minute since the Chargers have looked this convincing through the first month of the season.
Yeah.
Giants are desperate. And, Jackson Dart had a phenomenal preseason. And, we're not going to sit here and tell you that the preseason is the same stuff as the regular season. But I do think Jackson Dart has the goods to thrive in this organization in due time. Of course, you hope that tomorrow is not just a painful one for him, because I know a lot of people in the Giants contingent have mentioned that they would like to see Dart sit a little longer, or at least one more week against New Orleans, who could possibly be the worst team in the league. I agree with the move now. Ideally, you probably want to start him on the road. I agree with Joe's point about that, because there's a lot more pressure when you're in front of the home crowd. But I think Jackson Dart is ready for it. He's ready for the moment. As the game goes, I think the Giants will play a better 4 quarters, a better game than they did last week. But I still don't think that they are beating the Chargers. If the Giants have a puncher's chance, it's because of how difficult that travel is for West Coast teams particularly. Going all the way to the East Coast, I think that's going to be rather difficult. So I'm going to take the Chargers in a close one. Give me the Chargers 24. Give me the Giants 17. I think that's going to be a respectable performance from young Jackson Dart. But I think right now the Chargers just have too many answers, and I think they're just the better team. Well, I mean, the standings would already suggest that. Troy or Mike, who wants to jump on in?
Go ahead, Troy.
I'm going Chargers 41-24.
Oh, my. Is this by virtue of some pick sixes, or you think that Herbert's going to bless my fantasy team tomorrow? That's a weird caveat, Troy.
Woo!
I got Justin Herbert in my favorite fantasy league.
Yeah, we gotta
I
get
mean, Khalil Mack is hurt for the
Yeah.
Chargers,
Yes.
but they can do
I
it.
don't wish it on anyone, but that is a moderate blessing because that team's got some serious athletes on the defense, and we could afford to have a couple of them on the mend right now. But they are a really good team. They really won me over week 1, Troy.
They
The
did.
way that they won on a neutral site against a team that is so used to the big stage, that of course being the Chiefs. The Chiefs have down some men in their own right, which is they're like the sleeping giant, so to speak, that they're gradually, you're just waiting. When are the Chiefs going to look like the Chiefs? This particular year, I'm not sure, because I think more so than receiver injuries, I think they also have some dissension over them. Time will reveal that, but Zappy will vouch for this because we speak about it often enough.
Yeah.
Coaching matters in this league, and that's why the Kansas City Chiefs are always in or right around the Super Bowl. But the Chargers beating them week 1, the Chargers have just looked good in general.
They have.
They have 3 division wins already, and this is week 4. So that is hyper impressive. But damn, 41? How many tosses you got for Justin Herbert?
All of them.
So you got them taking us behind the woodshed, basically.
Yeah.
It is what it is, Troy.
Yeah,
I can't really fault you for feeling that strong about it. Johnny is having
I hope
fun
that don't
with me.
happen.
I'm going with every opposite that Idris has to say tonight. Mr. Zappy, you are up. Go right ahead, buddy.
Chargers bully ball. I understand you guys have Jackson Dart in there now, but that still doesn't fix your biggest problem, and that's the offensive line for the Giants. I look forward to this team, specifically Derwin James, to welcome Jackson Dart with a pick 6.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I know he had to come in. The Giants' schedule this year is ridiculous, with the exception of next week against the Saints. You really couldn't find a game for Jackson Dart to come into, just because week in and week out. I mean, it goes the same for Dallas, Philly, Washington. Our schedules are hard. Now, is Jackson Dart going to come in and put up points? I think he's going to see I think he's going to have some growing pains, and it starts this weekend. When it comes to the Chargers, this is a trap game, but if they Harbaugh as their coach, I would be a little more concerned. But, I mean, we're talking about one of the best marriages in football with Justin Herbert and Jim Harbaugh. So, yeah, for this one, I think it's going to be like the rest of the year for the Giants. They're going to be in it early, but the Chargers are just a much better team. One of the big things I'm going to be looking forward to tomorrow is I want to see if Justin Herbert gets Keenan Allen the ball early and often. He is 7 receptions away from 1,000 for his career, which would be the fastest in NFL history to get to 1,000 receptions. So that's going to be something to be watching for. And other thing is, Quentin Johnson's been putting up some numbers this year for the Chargers offensively, and I look at the Giants.
Reason why Trey Harris hasn't climbed the depth chart yet, and that was Jackson Dart's boy in college.
Yeah, and I look at that as well. The Giants are not playing the Cowboys secondary. The Chargers have a great secondary this year. I mean, they didn't just win 3 games. Like you said, Richie, they won 3 division games. They won against the defending AFC champs, and they didn't just beat them. They bullied them, and then they did it to Denver, and then they did it to Vegas. Like, I want to see Jackson Dart succeed, but, man, yeah, he did good in the preseason, but the last time we saw a quarterback do well in the preseason, started 2 games in the NFL and was gone. Because there is no scheming in preseason. There is no defensive game planning. It is all base offense and base defense.
We did base it on the preseason. Kyle Loletta looked a lot like Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, exactly.
And Kyle Loletta just kept speeding, and then they're like, "Oh, you're not even good."
No, I think what the things I'm going to look for with the Giants is how are you going to protect Jackson? Are you going to use his legs more early on in the game to kind of open up the pass game? We know Cam Scatterbo. We know what he is. He's a great running back that, he's going to fight for extra yards. But all in all, I think it's going to be the Chargers in the end, 27-9. The Giants, like I said, I think offensively, until that offensive line gets fixed, you're going to continue to see problems week in and week out.
I will say this, Zach. Andrew Thomas last week on a pitch count. I expect him to get more action this week. When I look at last week's failure, and it was a frustrating game to watch, I do think the Giants were adequate against a pretty good Kansas City front. But that's part of the reason why I have them scoring a few more points this week. I still think they're going to lose, but I think they're going to give the Chargers an honest fight. But I will not rule out a Giant victory just based on pure desperation. And the fact that they've had some luck in terms of when guys get that first start or coming into their first year in more recent memory. Because even Daniel Jones only missing the rookie touchdown record by 3 going back to 2019 when he thrived in Pat Shurmur's West Coast offense. So, there's caveats to some of this, and some of it's just, coincidental. We'll see. But I look forward to seeing how this plays out.
Yeah, I didn't give a score.
I'm just happy that the era is starting.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 24-21 again. 3 in a row. Giants, hopefully.
Well, Zappy and Troy definitely have it a little wider of margin than we do.
Yeah.
Regardless of how this starts, I'm not really worried about the job security of Brian Dable. I'm more worried about the progression of Jackson Dart, and I am happy that he is getting his opportunity. And I've said it the other day when I talked to the fellas on the Sports Corner. If I could do anything over, well, I can't do anything over because it wasn't me who did it to begin with. I would have never brought in Russell Wilson. I talked about this in detail. I don't think he did anything well enough in Pittsburgh to get this Giants contract. I think Jameis Winston, Jackson Dart, and Tommy Cutlitz would have been adequate for this particular year because you're paying Russell Wilson a decent amount of coin to essentially just play 3 games. Now, if Jackson Dart gets off to a rough start, you don't want to be in a position to put back Russ because that could really fracture his confidence.
No. The second Brian Dable made the announcement that Jackson Dart is the starter, you don't turn around anymore. You
You're 100% right, Zappy.
And with the Giants, I mean, Brian Dable, his next move is going to be to fire Kafka, and then after that, he's fired. So it's that simple with the Giants.
I want to be wrong, but the Giants will be 0-4 a little after 4 o'clock Eastern time. I hope Idris is right. That's all I got. And I definitely hope Troy's a little off on his score because, man, that would be brutality right there.
That'll hurt.
Well, I need Malik Neighbors to go off.
Troy, your team is up. Washington Commanders.
In the pick 'em pool, I went with the Chargers that me and Idris are in.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
Marcus Mariota last week filled in nice for the Commanders. Obviously, it's not the same as having Jaden Daniels because Jaden Daniels is one of the premier quarterbacks in the league. But Marcus Mariota does know a thing or two about being drafted high, playing in front of the big lights, and just having big responsibilities, playing for an Oregon program that was in national championship territory with the Titans. A lot of ups and downs there. But right now, at this stage of his career, he's a backup. He was on season 1 of Quarterback on Netflix, going behind the scenes. One of the real good guys in the NFL. I like this fit for you guys as a backup because he has enough of the Daniels skill set where he can still run the offense and you can get through a couple of weeks with Jaden on the mend. As the Falcons go, they got their doors blown off in a big way by division rival Carolina. And we know Carolina is going to surprise some people here and there. They are an improving team. But Bijan Robinson, man, really got bottled up last week, and I think this could be a sign of things to come. I think teams are showing a bit of a blueprint on how to beat this team. Michael Penix's accuracy issues last week, just having a rough day at quarterback in every which way possible to a point where Kirk Cousins did some mop-up duty. So I think the Commanders win the ball game. I would like to think that the Atlanta Falcons play a little better, but I think Mariota even has a little bone to pick here because, the Falcons are one of his former employers. So I can see, Mariota balling out a little, showing off the legs a little. I don't know what's completely wrong with the Falcons, but I don't trust them. Then again, I've never trusted them, even going back to Dan Reeves, going back to the Dirty Bird era with Jamal Anderson. By the way, that's Muhammad Ali's godson. I don't know who knows that. I didn't trust them when they decided to run the ball. Oh, that's right, they didn't. Jesus, 28-3. Come on, boys. Give me the Washington Commanders in a convincing enough victory. Washington 26, Atlanta 20, but I don't think the one possession score is going to be indicative of how much they outplay Atlanta. I think Atlanta makes it respectable late. Washington, I don't think they're, how do I say this? I think that their ascension was so very quick. I said it in the offseason. The NFC East has the toughest schedule of any division. I think Washington's got a good future. But when you were that close to tasting the Super Bowl, the only way you could go with Jaden Daniels and co is a little bit down. Jaden Daniels has missed 2 games already. Right now, you're going to beat a team that you should beat. But if Atlanta finds a way to win, could be a little thing for concern because, the schedule gets harder. But give me Washington 26. Give me Atlanta 20. Gentlemen, come on in.
Give me. No Jaden Daniels, no Scary Terry. I don't see Atlanta putting up another donut, 2 weeks in a row. I expect Bijan Robinson to get his workload. I'm going with the upset this week. I'm going with Atlanta to win at home in a tight game, 23-20, as the new Atlanta Falcons kicker kicks one to win the game.
Well,
so Younghoe Koo, going back to that other game that features my team, he gets all the Giants' points according to you, unless we're getting a touchdown and a safety.
No, you're getting 3. You're getting 3 field goals from him.
He's got New Jersey roots. He's very happy about this new employment situation. Troy, what is your opinion of this one?
I'm going Washington, 27-20.
All right. Washington by a touch. I didn't think you were going to pick against them.
No Scary Terry, no Noah Brown, no John Bates. So, I don't know.
Well, I'm going Washington, and it's not going. I'm going Washington 27-17. Michael Penix Jr., like I said about him last year, I'll say it again. He holds the ball too long.
He does.
He holds the ball too long. He locks in on one guy. And he's not as mobile a quarterback as what Atlanta needs. That's why I'm so glad we didn't draft him. I said the quarterback.
What worries me about Washington is throughout Mariota's career, he has a good game and then he follows it up with a bad game.
Yeah, that's a solid point.
True.
It's
and
like
the contingent
it's
of New
like
York Giants fans that wanted Penix, guys, the Giants are just completely discriminatory against left-handed quarterbacks. Look at our history. The only one that anybody would really remember in our lifetime is the late Jared Lorenzen, the hefty lefty who
that boy can
come
truck.
On
he could.
Packages where you needed a big yard, or believe it or not, in Hail Mary situations because he had that big of an arm. But no, the one time that I truly wanted the Giants to go out and get a left-handed quarterback, that man's name was Mark Brunell. Instead, the Giants decided to go get a fellow by the name of Dave Brown. Let's go to a basketball school.
Don't say Dave Brown, man. Oh, don't say Dave Brown.
Dave Brown, Danny Dimes. You don't go to Duke for quarterbacks. I don't think the Giants will make this mistake again in my lifetime. At least I hope not.
Wait, so you don't think the third time would be a charm?
Nah.
I mean,
the third time I'm going to Philly.
And if they're going to bring in a left-handed quarterback, he has to be Brett Bandick.
If we draft another Duke quarterback, I'm done with the Giants.
Well, there's no Duke quarterback worth noting anytime soon.
My point.
So,
that's my point.
So, but you guys.
I don't mind if the Knicks get guys from
3 to
Duke.
5 years.
That's my point, Zappy. That's my point. There is no Duke quarterbacks. I want to see no more Duke quarterbacks. Man.
Hey, but I will say this: I know you guys probably haven't been watching the Alabama-Georgia game, but your next receiver is playing in today's game. Idris, when you get a second, go check it out. Alabama.
Well, I'm watching on my phone. I got it.
Oh, so you guys saw Caden? You saw Caden Proctor right now?
Yeah. I'm
offensive tackle. It was unbelievable. I never thought I would see Alabama line an offensive tackle out as wide out, get the ball, and then almost score. Like, it was incredible. But anyways.
Oh, and a big one of these to the Chicago White Sox for ruining my parlay because I smashed every college game today. The Yankees did what I said they would do. Anyway, moving it along. New England Patriots hosting the Carolina Panthers. 1-2, traveling to 1-2. I mistyped that. Patriots do not have 2 wins. Patriots have been competing every week, but I still see the progressions of Drake May as a little bit of an inconsistency still. But I expect them to fight. You know, Mike Vrabel's a damn good coach. I think he was an excellent hire. The Panthers are feeling mighty good. They're coming off their most convincing win in a very long time. But I guess the question here is, can Carolina capitalize and keep that going? They have not given up a point in about 4.5 quarters, I believe. Almost 5 quarters. They haven't given up a point. So it's something to build on. As the Patriots go, I know that the number 1 receiver hat has been worn by a couple of different guys, but there's nobody that's overly convincing me just yet. And I think this could be the kind of game where it's going to be a situation where the running game gets everything going for each squad. I know Trevian Henderson has been held off for the most part in the early season by Ramondre Stevenson. It's only a matter of time until Henderson takes over.
He's not being held off by Stevenson. If you really look at who's their head coach, he did the same thing with Derrick Henry when he was drafted.
Yeah, he's a patient one, I tell you that.
Yeah, he usually waits till after week 10 before he even really starts featuring a rookie running back. So this comes as no surprise.
Daniel Jones was drafted by the Giants because of his ties. Yeah. Revisiting all God.
Yeah.
No, I look at this game. Look, to me, NFL is really starting this week. The first 4 weeks, teams are filling themselves out, trying to figure out their identity, who they are, so on and so forth. This Patriots team, it's Mike Vrabel. They're going to run the ball. They're going to do whatever they can to keep the ball to Drake May, where he doesn't have to throw the ball 40 times a game.
Right.
They need to win this game because I think the Patriots are one of those teams that are going to be there at the end of the year fighting for that 7th seed. And when you look at the other matchups, the Chiefs, Ravens, winner of that one's going to be 2-2, loser's going to be 1-3. The Pats can't afford to fall behind these other teams that are going to be right at the 2-2 mark after this weekend. So when I look at the AFC compared to the NFC, Carolina playing in the South, they can kind of afford to lose this one. They're not going to win the division. Bucks have a strong hold on that division already.
Yeah.
But the only thing that could completely derail the Bucks would have to be mass injury. That's why the Evans hammy thing is a little alarming. I think the biggest surprise last week was that they allowed the Jets back in that game.
Yeah.
But when you wear the creamsicles, sometimes your reputation precedes itself because, man, they were terrible when they wore those jerseys consistently. No disrespect to Leroy Selman, but man, he played on some bad teams. I like the Patriots here. Did Zappy freeze or is he just trolling me? Okay. I like the Patriots here.
No.
Give me the Patriots 26. Give me the Carolina Panthers 17. 10-point victory for the home team. I think Chuba Hubbard, Rico Dowdell might get some burn again. His carries have been going up on a weekly basis. But I think the Patriots is going to be too good on the ground in this one, and they're going to win the game. Drake May throws one pick. It won't be too consequential.
Who wants to go?
I'll let Zappy go.
All right.
Where is Zappy anyway?
I'll go.
Him.
Yeah, for me, like
freeze?
Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know why my camera's not working. Anyways, yeah, no, for the Patriots, like I said, I trust them more than I trust the Panthers. You know, when I look at their coaches, Dave Canales to me is not one of the top coaches in the NFL. I think he's one of the bottom coaches. And when I look at Mike Vrabel, look at his resume, he's going to have this team ready. The Patriots have been in it every week. They let one slip away against the Steelers last week. I don't see them doing that 2 weeks in a row. Give me the Patriots on this one. I'm going to go with a score of 27-17, something along the lines of that.
All right, so me and Zabby got the same final. Troy, Idris, who wants it?
I'll go ahead. I'm with Zappy on this. Yeah, I mean, he basically said what I was going to say. I'm going the same thing. Pretty much the same score. Same score. I think the Pats on the come up. Yeah, they're not going to blow. They're not going to blow another game like they did. Nah. What Carolina did to Atlanta. I had them beating Atlanta, but I didn't have them shutting Atlanta out.
Hell no. I don't think anybody saw that one.
No, but they're not gonna go they're not gonna go up to Foxborough and I think the Patriots rebound.
All right. Troy, what do you think? Who's winning this game?
Patriots.
All right, so we're all on the Pats. You got them winning by a large margin, or you think it's going to be close?
It's going to be a 23-20.
All right, you got a close game.
Troy loves
this is not going to be close.
Score of 20 for the losing teams.
Yeah, it's been a theme tonight. I noticed that. We got the Buffalo Bills traveling to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Is that right? Mercedes-Benz, or is it the Caesars Superdome? Because there's two of them.
No, that game is in Buffalo.
It's in Buffalo.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It is.
All right, well, not that it really matters, because I think the Bills would kick their ass even if they were playing on the moon. But thank you for the correction, gents. I'm just trying to see, because, upsets are always possible in the NFL, especially in the early months. But I don't see any conceivable way how the Saints win this game. I don't. Their quarterback room has got to be the worst in the NFL. There were rumors coming into the year that if they gave the Giants the right package, they would trade Jameis. He's already had a run over there. The Saints, Tyler Show, I really thought he had a legitimate shot to seize the starting job from Spencer Rattler. That did not happen. And Drew Brees, with all due respect, Mr. Hall of Famer, if you're going to accuse the Super Bowl champions of having the most boring offense, have you seen your former team lately? They're awful. Alvin Kamara, I get it, but he's going to, the little bit left that he has, he's going to want out, right, guys? I mean, he doesn't want to stay there.
I honestly think
nobody wants to be in New Orleans right now.
No, I think, while you're mentioning that, I think the Saints are going to be trading away two players, one of them being Kamara and the other one being Cam Jordan. I think both those guys, I feel like the Saints have to do right by them and get them to a contender. Obviously, it'll be an AFC team. Send Kamara to the Chiefs, and he changes that offense drastically. Send Cam Jordan to someone that needs that edge rusher. I mean, I'll even throw the 49ers and Cowboys out there as two teams that need an edge rusher. The Saints, to me, they're playing for that number one pick, whether it's going to be Mendoza or Nussmeier, whoever it is in the draft next year. Saints, if they get a win this year, good for them, but it's not going to – the team they have now is not going to be the team at the end of the year is how I view this team.
It's going to look like big kids playing the small kids in terms of talent and ability. When you get like the Pee Wee teams where some kids are just bigger and stronger than the others. I think it's going to look something like that. But I think Josh Allen, James Cook are both literally going to cook on the ground. Buffalo's calling card this year has been pushing teams around. And it was already projected, even in our fantasy leagues, how Josh Allen, while still being a premier quarterback, because he's a dual threat, is not going to take the amount of passes that he's taken in previous years. And that's held true. But this is the kind of game where Josh Allen could be relaxing, as Joe Gal said, midway through the third quarter. I'm going to say he'll take the fourth quarter off. There's going to be a lot to a little. Something similar to what Troy's predicting in East Rutherford is what's going to go down in Western New York. Buffalo Bills, Buffalo Bills 42, New Orleans Saints 17. The Bills are going to have a lot of fun. And I think Josh Allen could probably miss the whole fourth quarter and still put up a nice fantasy day. James Cook hits pay dirt twice, once via the pass.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is going to be Josh Allen is going to account for 28 points alone with his legs and throwing the ball. And James Cook will account for some more. I'm right there with you, Richie. I think it's going to be – this game's going to be over by the first quarter. Give me 44-13. Saints get that late, doesn't matter touchdown.
Oh, man, yeah.
It's going to be an easy day for Buffalo. I mean –
And if anybody has the audacity to bet the Saints, you'll probably take Monday off of work because you'll be able to afford to. I mean, this man, Mr. Salam, made some money off of Daniel Jones in the early going.
$750, sir. $750. I predicted
That's why you could justify buying the dude's jersey.
I predicted his start. I said he would be the starting quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts. He's going to beat out Anthony Richardson.
My!
He's going to. I said he's going to win. He's going to win comeback player of the year, Indiana Jones. Anyway, my prediction is the same thing. Zappy got. I think it's going to be like Troy said about the Giants and the Chargers. I think the Saints to get a late touchdown or whatever. I'm talking 41. You said 41-14, right, Zach?
44-13.
44. Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna raise you one. 43-14. It ain't gonna be close, dude.
This is gonna be brutal.
It ain't gonna be close, man. Yeah, Buffalo
Troy,
too.
Troy, what do you got? They're gonna put a 50 or a 60? What are they gonna do?
They might.
It's gonna be 40-45.
To 20.
13.
We have literally climbed.
He
climbed
raised
every
me
number
one.
So the point is, we'll all be shocked if Buffalo doesn't score 40 at least.
I'll be shocked if Buffalo doesn't win by 30.
Right.
I know the spread's 16.5, but I'm like, Vegas was being a little nice to the Saints on that one.
Yeah.
I have not checked Vegas to see how many Washington's favored by.
1.5, I think, was the last one.
Okay.
Only 1.5. That's interesting. Even with
I'm sorry. I apologize. It's the Falcons that are favored by 1.5.
Okay. All right. Well, they're missing a lot of people. Washington. Cleveland Browns taking it to Detroit. Quishon Judkins had his moment against a good Green Bay Packer team. That was definitely the upset of the week. And they need something to be happy about because it's been a very weird time for the Browns. You know, they gave Deshaun Watson the bag. And then between the massage parlor accusations and that horrific double two-time injury on the Achilles, then they let Baker Mayfield go. They told him, "You're washed, pal." And now Baker Mayfield is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFC. Replacing the legendary Tom Brady, and people aren't feeling too bad about what they lost. You know, even though old Brady, the guy was still winning. They needed something. Nick Chubb moved on to the Texans. You still have Myles Garrett, who makes a ton of money. And, they were the team that ultimately did draft Shedeur Sanders. They also drafted Dylan Gabriel. People were like, okay, when are one of these kids going to play? But since the beginning of time, guys, the Cleveland Browns have always had this horrible time of finding the franchise quarterback. I mean, they kind of did Bernie Kosar dirty in the Belichick era over there. Then Vinny Greenballs got in for a little while and tested that. Yeah, so they got him in there for a little while. But the point is that it's just been like a nightmare scenario for so long with these Browns. What do they do good? They play stingy defense. I'm going to give them that. And they run the rock well. In order to beat the Detroit Lions, you've got to keep their offense off the field. Detroit's offense is gradually feeling good. And what they did last week against the Baltimore Ravens was nothing short of impressive when two guys each had a week that could be most guys' best week of the season. And this is something that Detroit has to do to get to the next level. They have to be able to assert themselves and put teams away, because in the past, Detroit teams have been accused of letting teams stick around. Look no further than the NFC title game a couple of years ago. Having said all this mess, I don't see a scenario where the Cleveland Browns win 2 consecutive weeks against the NFC North team. I do think that they're going to compete, though, and I don't think this is going to be a walk in the park for Detroit. Give me the Detroit Lions 27. Give me the Cleveland Browns, shocker. This is about to be another shocker. Give me the Cleveland Browns 20. Yep, Cleveland's going to score 20 in this game. Joe Flacco, he's hanging around for now. I think the Lions find themselves in a ball game. It's not the easiest thing to not overlook a game like this when you have some solid victories, especially over the former Browns last week, the Ravens. That was impressive shit, boys. Give me the Lions by 7.
Look, Cleveland, I feel bad for them because hands down, they have the best defense in the NFL this year.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't care what anyone says. Yeah, you could make an argument for Denver, Minnesota, Houston, whatever. Cleveland has the best defense in the NFL. And Quinshon Judkins last week playing his first game already leads all rookie running backs in rushing.
That's absurd. That's an absurd stat.
I think Quinshon Judkins is going to be a reason why Cleveland is going to be in a lot of games this year. But when I look at if this game was in Cleveland, I think it would be a lot closer. But because it's in Detroit, I think Cleveland's going to be in it. But a late touchdown is going to open it up. Give me Detroit to win this game 24-20. But Cleveland, if Detroit makes a mistake or two, don't give Cleveland that shot. Because if they're in it late in the fourth quarter, they can sneak away and sneak out of there with a win. Because this team, they're feisty. They are feisty. And
remember, Zappy, this is that same defense that a couple of years ago was a playoff defense when they ripped Joe Flacco off the couch.
Yeah.
Hey, father of 5, I believe, just collecting dust, enjoying his NFL Sunday ticket, even football on his phone. And then, I'm going to come back and play a little.
I gotta make a quick announcement, boys. I think you guys will like this, especially the two on the top. The AL, the American League wild card, or the American League playoffs are set. Say it with me, guys. Say it with me loud and proud. Say it with me loud and proud. Fuck Houston. Enjoy the couch.
Thank you.
Wait, who's in it, Zach?
The Guardians just walked it off to defeat the Rangers, clinch the final playoff spot. Tigers clinched.
Good.
Houston.
So you're actually happy that your team played a part in this too. That's kind of cool that you could still screw your in-state rival.
The Mariners are in it too.
Even in a year that you don't make the playoffs, and you could screw your in-state rival. That's pretty cool. And the reason, Troy, why we have such disdain on this show for the Houston Astros is because when you go back to 2017, the shortcuts that they took, it really pissed off a lot of people. I mean, the Tampa Bay Rays got screwed. Yeah. If you're a Rangers fan and you're seeing the other team in your state doing it that way, you can't be happy. So I can understand where Zappy isn't just because you love the game of baseball.
When you go back to 2019, when the Nationals won the World Series, Houston
that was
cheated.
Wild. Yeah, they did. And the thing that was wild about that too was every winning game in that series was by the road team, which is just unheard of.
Exactly.
And that was when Juan Soto was still a member of the Nationals. That's right. You root for the Nationals too. I forgot about that.
Howie Kendrick hit the walk-off home run in Game 7.
Dope. All right. We're gonna Idris. You still with us, or are you taking a?
No, I'm here.
I just want to make sure.
I'm writing some notes. I don't want to have my head down while I write notes. I'm here. I'm here.
Or that.
You don't want to see the top of my head the whole time, man. So
right. Cleveland Browns, Detroit Lions. Idris, Browns got any chance of winning this thing?
No. Nope.
Hell no.
They got a great
no?
defense. They got a great defense, and I think that'll keep them in the game. But I don't think they got enough. I seen what Cleveland did to Chicago. I mean, what Detroit did to Chicago. And Chicago got
the only way that Cleveland wins this game is if they were able to knock Ryan Gosling out of the game, and I don't think that's going to happen. That's my opinion. That's my opinion.
Oh God!
I'm gonna go.
Troy,
I'm gonna go.
you smelling an upset or not?
I'm gonna go to. I'm gonna go Detroit. 24. No. I'm gonna go Detroit. I'm gonna go Detroit 35. Cleveland 17.
Yeah, I gotta think that Cleveland is gonna make an honest effort to make sure that what happened to the Ravens doesn't happen to them. But I'm not convinced that just from attrition, even if they're not getting the chunk yards, that at some point they're gonna be able to blow it up downfield. But you never know, man. Goff is always good for a stinker, and this could be like a random stink bomb. Because Zappy could be onto something. Like you give them a chance, they come back and do something.
But yeah,
his face looks like he just smelled a stink bomb over there.
No, I'm thinking about the Ravens, and all I can think about is the fact that they have the worst pass defense in the NFL. And
yeah, they made sure that doesn't apply to your team or my team, as you ever so described. My Giants were.
We're 30, you're 31. The Ravens are 32. But after this weekend, we'll be 32 for sure.
Yeah, I loved what Drew Phillips did on the. Hey, there's only 7 seconds left. Let me make sure that I do a professional wrestling move on this guy instead of letting him catch the ball and trying to tackle him with no timeouts. Let's just give him 3 points, guys, because without a kicker, getting 3 points that night was real easy. All right. The Jaguars, 2-1, traveling to the undefeated 49ers, one of Zappy's favorite teams. Just kidding. Mac Jones will get one more start. Mac Jones will get one more start.
No. Brock Purdy has been cleared. He is starting.
Purdy's starting?
Yep.
Oh, damn it, man. That changes my whole trajectory for this game.
Yeah, it was announced yesterday evening.
Oh, gosh. No quarterback controversy, unless if Purdy has a couple of stinkers. Let's see. Brock Purdy.
This, for me, is a big game. This is my statement game for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
For the viewers, Zappy predicted that the Jaguars are going to win this division in the preseason.
The Colts are going to win the division. Indiana Jones, man.
Commanders are winning their division.
Y'all think they'll keep on? Indiana Jones, they're going to win the division and comeback player of the year.
Marcus Mariota's going to win comeback player of the year.
If that happened, that would be.
If that happens right there, oh man.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for you.
Are we talking about the NFL awards or the Hawaiian awards? Because
there are not too many Hawaiian gentlemen playing in the league at this current time. I think it's less than what percent? About 4%, maybe. Maybe 4%?
I think it's less than 1% of the league is Hawaiian.
Is it really that low?
It's low. Because Samoans
Mariota was a friggin'
Hawaiian.
He was a friggin' beast in college. But then he lost his job to Ryan Tannehill. Come on, guys. All right, back to this. Zappy,
I like this Jaguars team. They're slowly putting it together, but Trevor Lawrence has not had that game yet. And with Nick Bosa being out for the year for the 49ers, this to me is going to be a game that's going to sound the alarm for the Niners that they need to go acquire an edge rusher.
Okay.
And offensively right now with this Niners team, look, yeah, I know they're 3-0, but not one of their wins has impressed me whatsoever. You know, they have the easiest or one of the easiest schedules in the NFL right now. And I just don't think that this luck is going to continue for this team, especially when you continue to look at the list of players that are hitting the IR for them yet again. No, I think Jacksonville is going to go into San Francisco, make a statement, and come out of there 3-1, feeling really good about themselves, and probably tied for first after this weekend in that division.
So, Zach, you think that this 49er 3-0 start is kind of like smoke and mirrors?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I mean, when you look at the way they've been winning their games, it's been coaching for them. It has not been the play of the players.
That was just a basic war of attrition against the Cardinals last week.
Yeah. No, I fully I think if Seattle and the 49ers played if they redid that week 1 game, week 5, Seattle wins that game. That's the way I look at that. Seattle's getting their stuff together.
Yeah.
They got it together the very next week, the way that they went into Pittsburgh and made a statement.
Yeah. And they've I fully expect Jacksonville to go in there, and I think they're just gonna, dare I say, overmatch the Niners.
So you feel that they're gonna play the Niners style of game, but do it to them, so to speak.
Yeah, no, I do. The Niners defense is going to keep them in it, but I really do believe that loss of Nick Bosa is going to hurt them, and they're going to have to go out and acquire somebody, which we know that they are not scared of doing. This has been the team that when they have a hole, they address it via trade. They've done it multiple times, but when I look at offensively, I mean, I can't see Brock Purdy coming in after missing the last couple weeks and changing their offense for them to go out and score 27, 34 points. I just don't see it right now.
Idris, I'm going to throw this Zappy point to you and come back to Zappy with it. Have you seen the Jason Pierre-Paul videos of his hunger to get back in the league?
I've heard, but I hadn't seen him.
Pulling the cars, looking good.
I'm going to check that out.
And,
I've seen Colin Kaepernick's videos.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I got.
That was well timed, because I remember the group chat from like a year and a half ago, and we were getting, because Idris on a lot of levels is like the quarterback whisperer of the show, because he's got a pretty nice percentage of hitting on these quarterbacks. But man, the back and forth was legendary. And then to the JPP point, I don't know. Some guys, when they take a couple off and come back, they can still do it at a high level. I mean, Prime did it as a member of the Ravens. It was weird seeing him not wear 21. That Chris McAllister, Ed Reed on that defense. I remember that. That was an interesting defense, to put it bluntly. I just think it was awesome that he's working for CBS one week, and the next week he's back on the field. Jason Witten took a year off, came back. He was like, "This retirement isn't for me."
Gronk.
I'm taking the Niners by a point. This is not going to be the prettiest game. Give me the Niners. I'm not even joking. Give me the Niners 15. Give me the Jaguars 14. The Niners kick 5 field goals and win. Another barely did it kind of dub for the Niners. And I am curious to when we get Shed back in there, because Shed, I think, is relatively honest about his team. But I'm curious to see, what his takes would be of how sustainable is this, the way the Niners rather have been winning.
21-18, man. 21-18. Bunch of field goals.
21-18?
Bunch of field goals too.
Bunch of field goals?
Bunch of field goals.
I think Niners win 31-20. Former Commander Brian Robinson scores a touchdown.
I can see.
You were on your Commanders here. All right. I was a little shocked at that trade. I mean, I know there was some feelings in there, but I was like, damn, man, they really traded Brian Robinson. Commanders.
I think it was a good trade.
They're still trying to find their number one. With the Eckler injury, a lot of opportunities, but nobody's all the way seasoned them.
We do got the number one running back, and his name is Bill Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt.
For now. This is a real dubious one here. The Tennessee Titans at 0-3, taking on the Houston Texans at 0-3. I'm not going to waste too much time talking about this one. Cam Ward is going to be under constant duress. This is a Texans team that is probably the best 0-3 team since the Cincinnati Bengals not too long ago. but in a different kind of way. They competed with 3 legit teams and have come up short. Because, yes, Zappy, you're on to one. I'm going to give you that. Jacksonville could potentially be legit. H-Town's finest, wherever you are, you haven't reappeared after the Daniel Jones stuff has been making sense, and after you had so much to say to Zappy and I. Give me the Houston Texans in a feel-good, just all-around victory, 27 to Tennessee Titans 6. They're going to shut them down in every way possible, and this is going to be a game where DeMeco Ryan's team looks a lot more like a playoff team that has won the South in the past. But the get-right game, most definitely for the new Houston team against the old Houston team. Idris Salam, does Cam Ward get his first win as a pro, or does this losing continue?
Growing pains, man. Growing pains. Houston's gonna put the beat down on them, man. I'm gonna go 30 to 10.
I will say this: if things don't go right, I am gonna find H-Town's finest and have him speak on this. Because he had these dudes losing 5 games all year, and they're 1 away from 4, and September's not over yet. That's giant territory.
Yeah, he did a lot of talking. I hadn't seen him since that. He certainly did. Yeah.
Well, when I said Daniel Jones could be comeback player of the year, he thought I was out of my mind. He had a lot to say to Zappy about him picking the Jacksonville Jaguars to win this division, which is definitely a possibility. Unless Daniel Jones continues to play at this Hall of Fame level. Troy knows that he's like, these guys are full of shit with this. Troy, what do you think about this? Do you think there's any way that Cam Ward and the Titans get a victory here, or is this going to be Houston's feel-good moment after a very slow start?
It's going to be Houston's feel-good moment, and they win 41-3.
Okay. Well, we all agree, I believe, that the defense is going to just smash on them. Mr. Zappy, what do you think?
I think Tennessee's going to put up somewhat of a fight. I mean, this is a division matchup. Houston needs this game because next week they go to Baltimore. The following week they go to Seattle. They need to win this game. Give me the Texans. Give me the Texans to win. I don't think it's going to be as feel good as you guys think. I think they're going to still continue to struggle. I think not having Joe Mixon in that lineup is really hurting them. I know Nick Chubb has been doing well, but Mixon brings that other aspect in the passing game as well that helps out, and that's what helped C.J. Stroud out the last 2 years. He hasn't had that this year. C.J. Stroud has regressed a lot, especially ever since telling Caleb Williams, hey, everything's going to be great. You're going to be a great quarterback in the league. Since that day, C.J. Stroud's been one of the worst quarterbacks in the league.
So what's the message, folks? When you love people and you consider them friends, you don't lie to them.
You don't lie to them. No, I think Tennessee is going to battle. I think this game's going to be closer than we think. Give me 27-20 Houston. Cam Ward is going to – I think he's going to be fighting. I think he's going to get himself a 2 TDs this week. 1 to Pollard, 1 to Ridley.
I think Cam Ward's going to be fighting with his offensive line because he's tired of getting knocked on his ass. But you never know. Yeah. You never know. I mean, crazier things have happened. Look no further than this next one. The Indianapolis Colts at 3-0, visiting the Los Angeles Rams at 2-1. The Rams last week squandered a 19-point lead to the defending Super Bowl champions. The legend of Indiana Jones is real. I expect a defensive struggle here, and I do mean that. The Rams have gotten into their fair share of defensive games prior to getting the big lead on Philly and then unfortunately letting them back into it. They have not had an opportunity to truly get it flowing on offense all the way, because just like Joe Gal said on their show, he wants to see Philly play a full 4 quarters. I'm sure that there's a decent amount of power flash got disconnected. Oh, Idris said that his power just flashed. Troy's telling me he doesn't hear me. Do you hear me, Zappy? You hear me okay, bud?
Yeah,
He
I've got
just
you.
said
Loud.
that the
I've got you
power
loud and
flashed on
clear.
his end, so he's gonna try to get back in. Troy, you don't hear me? Do you hear me, Troy?
No. Can't hear you.
Can you hear Troy? Can you hear me?
Can you hear Zappy? Troy, I'm gonna remove you and then come back in. It could be on your end. Sorry, Troy. Let me try to come back in. Idris said that he's rebooting. Let me get Troy back in here. Troy, you good now?
Can't hear you.
That's odd. Not sure why. Check your sound. Yeah, let me just put this up on the comments real quick. Yeah, it could be something glitching out over here.
Yeah, no. If you can't hear me either.
Yeah. Yeah, Troy, take your time. You good, brother. All right. We're waiting on Idris to come back as well. Indianapolis Colts. It's so ironic that this would happen when Indiana Jones' game comes on. What have the Colts done well? In my
Everything.
opinion, yeah.
They're
Yeah,
the most balanced team in the NFL right now. And it helps when you have number 28 running the rock.
And being the Jonathan Taylor of better years.
Yeah.
All the way healthy.
Yeah, the JT that was drafted. Exactly. Daniel Jones is doing everything he needs to do, and that is not turning the ball over.
Mm-hmm.
He is distributing the ball evenly to all his players. He's not forcing the issue. He's letting the game come to him. You know, like we talk about DJ and how he was with the Giants. Another thing to remember, the Colts have a good offensive line. So the Colts have all the pieces. They can go into LA tomorrow and they can easily win this game. Do I think they're going to? No. I agree with you, Richie. I think this is going to be a defensive struggle. But if the Rams would have won last week, say 33-17, then I think we're talking about a much, much different Rams team tomorrow.
They're going to be hyper-focused after the way that they allowed Philly to come back. Because the Rams have got to be tired of Philly. I mean, last year, Saquon ran all over them in the regular season. We saw the classic game in the snow where I have said many times, if they don't get that false start, they might have won. And now the 19-point thing, which is the biggest Eagle victory with that many minutes left in the game since the Miracle of the Meadowlands 2.0.
Yeah, and I don't even think it's the 19-point lead that affected the Rams. I think it was that blocked field goal. Like that blocked field, the Rams should have won that game. And when you have the opportunity
two
to win
field goals in that game, which is unheard of.
Yeah,
unheard of, Zap.
No, I don't. First of all, Sean McVay is one of the best head coaches in the NFL.
No doubt.
Matthew Stafford, while he is old, is still a good quarterback. Kyrie Williams is a great young running back. They have a great receiving core. Their defense is good.
A nice compliment to him.
Absolutely. I trust the Rams more tomorrow. I don't want to call this a trap game for the Colts whatsoever because I'm not going to. But when I look at who's a more battle tested team, I'm going with the Rams on this one. I'm going with the Rams in a close game, 27-24. Daniel Jones is going to continue to piece together. You guys talk about comeback player of the year. If he keeps this up, he's going to be in that conversation with Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson at the end of the year for the MVP votes, especially if this Colts
isn't that insane?
Yeah,
let alone comeback player of the year. Because H-Town, did you hear that? You heard that, H-Town? You were laughing at me when I said that Daniel Jones could be comeback player of the year. As a Giants fan sitting front and center, I'm not delusional about his limitations and his mistakes over the years. But I also knew what the good Daniel Jones could look like if he had the right things around him. Right now, he does. Shane Steichen's done a wonderful job playing to his strengths. Having said all that, I did call for a defensive struggle. I think it's going to be just that. Give me the Rams 20. Give me the Colts 17. And how does this thing turn over and turn into the wrong way? I personally believe that the Rams are going to pitch a 10-0 shutout in the fourth quarter with a deficit going into the fourth, and they win this ball game. Daniel Jones, 1 fumble lost, 1 interception. Let's see. Troy, Indy
Yeah.
stays undefeated, or do the Rams redeem themselves after blowing that lead against Philly?
Rams win by 3.
Close one.
Yeah, so all
Okay.
3 of us have a 3-point game.
Liking that. Liking it. And I'm sure Idris is going to go against us. And when he comes back, I will make sure that he is able to revisit this. Chicago Bears are going to Vegas. Short, sweet, and simple. Genty a bust. I'll tell you one thing. He doesn't take
No.
what the defense gives him. But
No.
it's too early to call him a bust.
He's not a bust. The issue here, I'll tell you exactly what the issue is. It's the same issue that the Raiders had with Darren McFadden. He is too damn fast to the hole. Not a bad thing, but to counteract that, you line him up another yard or 2 back in the backfield. That way, by the time he gets to the blocks are actually developed, and he gets through. He's just too damn fast. He's too fast that the Raiders need to have him line up further back. That's all it is.
It's funny you say that, Zappy, because I have not had a chance to talk to my sister's man. He's a diehard Raider, as is my Uncle Randy. But I do pay attention to some of the socials, and they have said something similar to you about how they feel Ashton, it's not necessarily a field vision thing. It's that he's a little too fast for his own good.
Yeah,
That's an interesting take, and one that I'm happy that you see on the eye test, because I myself have felt that way.
Yeah, and you look at the Raiders did it with McFadden. He got off to a slow start. They moved him back a little bit, and then he took off. You know, that it's a simple fix, especially when your offensive line is not where it needs to be when you want to be running the rock. Pete Carroll, I think, will fix that. He's going to fix it. I trust him entirely to fix it. But Ashton Genty, he's just either, if they're not going to move him back, he's got to let those holes develop. Last week, who was it? Oh, it was Derrick Henry. The way Derrick Henry gets his touchdowns, how he sits and he waits for the hole to develop. That's what Genty needs to do. Once he learns that part of his game, then he's going to be just fine. And I fully expect by week 7 or 8, he's really going to get going. But yeah, it's just little things that can be fixed for Genty, that is. Now, as far as the Raiders go, if this game was in Chicago, I think this would be a much different outcome. But because it's in Vegas, because it's a Pete Carroll-led Las Vegas Raiders team, I think Vegas is gonna come out of there on top. Look, I know Chicago won last week, but every team is gonna look good offensively against Dallas. Caleb Williams, I'm sorry, and I even said it.
And that's some honesty, because you're a diehard Cowboy fan.
Yeah, and I said it before. I said we are gonna make Caleb Williams look like the second coming, and sure enough, Caleb looked like the second coming last week. Do I think he's found it? Absolutely not. Not one bit. I think the black hole. I think the fans in Las Vegas are going to show up, make things difficult for Caleb in that offense. Give me the Raiders to win this game 27-17.
You got 27-17. I'm going to go a little closer, 27-24, because I just think the Bears, it's going to be like their MO going back to last year. I think the Bears are going to be winning in the fourth, and they're going to blow it. And there's going to be a litany of reasons as to why. I will say this. Both Brock Bowers and Colston Loveland hit the end zone in this particular game. I'm going to call that for a hot take there. Troy, what you got here?
I'm going Bears.
Okay.
Because that game is in Chicago, I think.
Nah, brother, this one's in Vegas.
Is it?
Let me double check. Yeah, they're in Vegas.
Then I'm going Raiders by 3.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in
Raiders by
Vegas.
3. All right, we're all on the Raiders in that one. Idris said that he had a power flash go over there. I don't know if in his neighborhood there's an issue with the electric or something, but perhaps Idris will come back. Not quite sure. Baltimore Ravens, Kansas City Chiefs. It's very rare to see both these teams with losing records. The Chiefs didn't look impressive in victory, but the Giants just frankly couldn't capitalize. Not enough offense, not even a healthy kicker. Ravens defense took a true beating against Detroit, and this could be a get-right game given the Chiefs' injury issues. I will say this, Patrick Mahomes was masterful with his footwork last week against a very aggressive Giants pass rush. And he was also aggressive with getting after Bobby Okereke on a Jordan-like steal. I was like, is Okereke playing the role of Karl Malone? I could not believe that Patrick Mahomes just ripped that ball away from Bobby Okereke. I have never seen a quarterback do that. I've seen quarterbacks make tackles and cause fumbles, like on some violent level stuff. I've seen guys maybe punch it out, but to just flat out rip it back, I can't say I've seen that, especially that close to the end zone. I mean, you could get a careless situation like a Leon Lett situation or others where they would let the ball go before scoring. Okereke just did not have any idea that Mahomes was that close. So the point to be made is that Bobby Okereke was caught napping, and Patrick Mahomes is just the kind of athlete that you can never take a second off of accounting for. As this Chiefs team goes, can they do to the Ravens what others have done? You saw Buffalo with the massive comeback. We saw what happened to them last week when the Lions turned it up a notch on both rushing the football and getting behind that secondary. Derrick Henry with the uncharacteristic fumbles this year is a little disconcerting for the Ravens and their fans. These teams have played in
they're
so
not just
many good
fumbles.
games.
And you know, they're not just fumbles. They have been game-changing fumbles at critical times. Against Buffalo, they had the game won. Derrick Henry
Yes,
fumbles
indeed.
the game. It changed the whole trajectory.
Yes,
Against
indeed.
Detroit, that fumble it completely shut Baltimore out of the game. Derrick Henry, I don't think he's going to fumble it again. But man, 3 fumbles in 3 weeks, and like I said, very costly fumbles. You can't do that.
No, and it's uncharacteristic. That's the thing that's so troubling because even in his rookie year, he wasn't that bad with fumbling. He's going through something.
He's always been
going through
good throughout his
something
career.
on a confidence level that I can't put my finger on what the hell is wrong. But it's like anything else. I remember when Tiki Barber in his career had this issue with the fumbling. We've seen it with other great running backs. Derrick Henry is a surefire future Hall of Famer. The Chiefs' defense does not get a ton of credit. Their front seven is still a premier unit, ranging from the legendary, and he's still playing, the legendary Chris Jones. I really love George Karlaftis. I think he just fits really well into what Steve Spagnuolo does. I still think this is a defense that misses the services of L'Jarius Sneed, although they do have good players back there. I don't think that they have upgraded where L'Jarius once was. Can the Chiefs run the rock to open up what Patrick Mahomes can do? Patrick Mahomes is the leading rusher on the Kansas City Chiefs, folks. Although the Ravens have all kinds of imperfections and issues right now, I'm calling for a legitimate shootout here, and I think it's going to be a shootout that the Ravens outlast them in. Even on the road, give me the Ravens 38. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs 30. 8-point victory for the Ravens. They really need this one.
I'm going to put it to you this way. While the Chiefs have not been impressive, the Ravens have been more impressive. But I cannot, in no world, because you have 3 things: Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Steve Spagnuolo.
Spagnuolo.
And for me, it is all about the mental aspect. Lamar Jackson is 1-5 in his career against the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is 5-1 against the Ravens in his career.
Uh-huh.
This game is in Kansas City. When Philly went to Kansas City, I mean, Philly walked out of there with a 3-point win. Was not pretty.
No.
This
Neither
Chiefs
team
defense
played a clean game in that.
Yeah, no, this Chiefs defense, they're going to keep them in games until reinforcements come. Once Rashee Rice comes, Xavier Worthy comes back, then their offense will get going.
And I still suspect that they're going to make a deadline deal to upgrade possibly both sides of the football.
Like I said, I think there's a guy in New Orleans they need to trade for.
Oh, you get that dude. You get that dude over there. That changes a lot of things.
Yeah, but no, to me, I cannot see the Chiefs starting 1-3. I just can't. In no world can I see them doing it.
So I guess what you're saying is you feel more comfortable seeing the Ravens at 1-3 than the Chiefs. You think that's more feasible? I guess is what you're getting at.
Yeah. Well, that, and I mean, it's the Chiefs. This is the team that has been in the Super Bowl or at least AFC Championship game since 2018, every year.
And they have participated in 3 consecutive Super Bowls. They're in a position right now, Zappy, where if they win the AFC this year, they will do what only one other franchise has done in the Super Bowl era, and that is go to 4 consecutive Super Bowls. That, of course, being the Buffalo Bills of 90, 91, 92, 93.
Yeah.
So, except the Chiefs actually win when they go more frequently.
I look at the Chiefs and what they've done defensively. Week 1 against the Chargers, I think they gave up 394 yards of total offense to the Chargers. Week 2 against Philly, they shut that offense down. I mean, they didn't even give Jalen Hurts 100 yards passing. They only held the Eagles to 200 total yards for that game. Last week against the Giants, they did a really good job defensively in that game. No, I think with Baltimore, there's a little more issues going on with that team because they're fully healthy. Kansas City's not, or it's not that Kansas City's not healthy. It's just that they're going through it right now with suspension and health. But there's no reason right now for Baltimore. So for me with Baltimore, there's a bigger issue going on in that locker room that we don't know about yet. And when I see them going into Kansas City, and for me with this game, like I say, with the Bills against Mahomes, with the Ravens against Mahomes, it's the mental aspect of it all. And no, I fully expect the Chiefs to come out of this one on top tomorrow, 20-17, a hard-fought defensive struggle. But if there's a get-right game for the Chiefs and that pass offense, it is against the 32nd ranked pass defense.
Yeah, and, that's so wacky to think they are literally 32 of 32. And we saw Mark Andrews wake up last week and provide his fantasy owners with a thank you for keeping the faith. I have a feeling that in this particular game, you're going to see Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews both get some big chunk plays going. I really believe that. Because Kelce's been consistent, like respectably consistent, but he's been quiet. I think this is a week where Travis Kelce balls out. And I have a funny feeling that Mark Andrews is going to look a lot more like the guy who played in week 3. But we're on the opposite sides. Go ahead, Troy.
I got the Chiefs winning 31-20.
There's that 20 again.
20. Yeah, 20's been the theme, dude. All of us keep having the losers land on 20.
Xavier Worthy will be back for that game, I think.
I don't think he's been cleared. I'm looking at the injury report right now for them.
Zappy's going to give that a look. So, Troy, let me ask you this. I know that, the Beltway rivalry is a real thing. The Ravens have had the better of it for a good while, but, with the Commanders reemerging as one of the better teams in the league, are you happy to see the Ravens off to a slower start than they're used to having? Because usually they're amongst the best in the league. This is unfamiliar territory for Lamar Jackson and the Ravens right now.
I am.
You gotta be, right?
Right.
Because you guys did some suffering, but getting Jaden Daniels and
Debo
really changed the trajectory. Zappy's, of course, very familiar with your head coach Dan Quinn. Is for quite a while Zappy, as a Cowboy fan, wanted Dan Quinn
Did
to be the
Zappy
main guy.
watch? Did Zappy watch last Sunday's Commander game when Quinn got hurt on the nose?
Did you see
Oh,
that, Zappy?
yeah, I did.
Yeah.
When he got, yeah, I mean, he's a boss. That's why he didn't take himself out and go in the blue tent when
Yeah,
he was
definitely a
on
tough
the ground
dude.
bleeding.
Right.
No, okay, so yeah, I'm gonna change my score prediction. Xavier Worthy is playing, and
Oh,
we
good
saw
shout,
what he was
Troy.
doing against the
Good
Chargers
shout,
week
Troy.
one.
Thanks.
That's a huge thing for this game. Give me the Chiefs to win 27-17.
27-17 in favor of the Chiefs. So he's got him. I'm still going with the Ravens. I might be man on an island. I think the Ravens are going to beat the Chiefs. We'll see. I'm certainly not going to shed no tears if the Ravens lose because they are the only franchise that ever beat my team in the Super Bowl. So I naturally have a hard-on for that team. Sunday Night Football pits the Green Bay Packers against the Dallas Cowboys. This is the Micah Parsons Bowl. Micah was very, decent. I think decent's the right word when talking about how it's painful for him because of how much love and admiration he has for former teammate, current Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott. There's a lot of mixed feelings from different contingents of the Cowboys fans. Some people think that Micah got sold short. Some people think that Jerry did the right thing given Micah's injury history. Some people are dead in the middle and just not sure what to think. They're just tired of the Cowboys not elevating to excellence because, the Dallas Cowboys were the team of the 90s. Were it not for a Jackie Smith drop, they're at minimum a 50%er for team of the 70s along with the Steelers. They would have been dead even with those guys for the decade. But, the Cowboys are the most valuable team in this league. They are a brand. They're a lot bigger than just a football team, so to speak. And they have just a ridiculous amount of fans everywhere. This team is, to say that they're very popular is an understatement. And, Jerry Jones, as I always say this when he comes up on the show as a topic, similar to the late, great George Steinbrenner, knows how to sell people into drawing interest in his team, whether they're a good team, whether they're a middle-of-the-road team, whether they're whatever they are. The Cowboys are always on some level must-see TV and must-see reading. Now, Green Bay and Dallas have forever had a history over the years and got their fingerprints all over the league as rivals, going all the way back to the Ice Bowl. We saw them reemerge in the 90s when the Packers were coming back. Dallas broke their hearts in the title game. Green Bay, years later, the Des Bryant game. Then you also had 2016 when Dak was a rookie. A lot of people feel if Romo would have played, maybe Dallas wins, but they weren't going to take the ball out of Dak's hands. I think, for the most part, that was the right decision for the bigger picture. To Zappy's point right now, the Dallas Cowboys have really struggled against the pass. They were exploited in a game where Russell Wilson balled out actually his most passing yards of his career, which is kind of hard to believe. Do the Packers have somebody that can really make them pay? I mean, you got Matthew Golden out of Texas. Grand opportunity here to seize a position as the number one because Green Bay, even going back to the Rodgers era post-Devontae, has always been good at distributing the ball to everybody where they have been able to be a very good offense without having that number one, so to speak, with the exception of Devontae. And maybe, Jordy, you could say honestly where that happened a couple of years. Like what Jordan Love's doing in the early going last week is not one that you want to celebrate on the game film. Dallas has a chance to win this game if they can run the ball and run the ball well, play some keep away, win the time of possession game, because you're not going to beat the Packers in a shootout. But this is the thing. If Dallas could generate enough heat on Jordan Love and make him uncomfortable, and if they can get Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders going, and by the way, Miles Sanders definitely got some juice left. You could see a potential surprise where Dallas wins an ugly kind of game, and people might think I'm out of my friggin' mind for even saying this. While I do think Micah Parsons might have the terrific game that Mr. Gallagher is referring to, I have a weird feeling that the Dallas Cowboys will find a way to win this game. And you know that that's super unbiased, being that I'm a New York Giants fan.
You're not the only one saying that, though. I mean, I fully expect the Packers to win this game, but there's just this weird feeling that it's going to be Jordan Love that loses the game.
Well, Jordan Love has had a terrible propensity for making unnecessary risks. I mean, were it not for some of that, Green Bay probably is in the title game a couple of seasons ago. The week after they went into Dallas and mauled you guys, they had the 49ers on the ropes. They really did. And, Christian McCaffrey, huge part of the comeback, as was the inefficient Green Bay kicking game going back to that. I don't know. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm just being honest. Give me the Dallas Cowboys 27. Give me the Green Bay Packers 24. I have a bad feeling Jordan Love is going to make some unnecessary mistakes. We've seen it. Dude, Jordan Love was partially responsible for Tommy DeVito's 15 minutes of fame. Jordan Love has had some stinkers. And while I think he looked phenomenal through the first 2 weeks, it's that Jekyll and Hyde with Love that worries me.
Yeah, and honestly, I think the game plan for Dallas is going to be this. Last week against Chicago, that Javonte Williams fumble, it hurt. It hurt a lot. Dallas could have gone up early on that game, and that game could have gone a lot differently. Now I look at tomorrow, and one of the things that we got from Green Bay was Kenny Clark, which he has been a godsend for our defense, because while our pass defense has been horrible, our run defense has drastically improved this year ever since the addition of Kenny Clark. This is the kind of game that, look, no Tyler Booker, no Cooper Beebe, but Brock Hoffman has done very well. He did very well last year in Zach Martin's absence, played fantastic. I expect him to do well. Run the rock. Run it right at Michael Parsons. Run it towards him every single play. Do not make this, like you said, a shootout. I don't want to see Dak dropping back to pass 35 to 45 times.
You won't win the football game that way.
No. This needs to be a game where Javonte Williams gets the rock 20 to 25 times. Miles Sanders gets the rock 10 to 15 times. It has to be an old-fashioned, dirty game where they need to run that clock.
Because remember, Zappy, now you know this because you watch all the games. But just the people that might be popping in for the first time or just saying, like, what? Green Bay's a more superior team. I'm not saying they're not a better team. And they'll probably make the playoffs and Dallas won't. But this is the thing with this particular week. You want to know a good game film on how to beat the Packers this week? Go revisit that Blizzard game when Bill Belichick decided to run 80 times. I'm not suggesting run the ball that many times. But what I'm saying is, if you could play a decent amount of keep away, the Packers, I don't think, have the personnel to exploit the Cowboys' big secondary weaknesses, because while Matthew Golden is a player I admired in college, I am not quite sure if he's ready to take the reins as the number one receiver. And sometimes balls get picked off when a receiver runs a poor route or when the timing just isn't there. And, Jaden Reed's absence is huge right now. Josh Jacobs needs to run the rock on that side to simplify things and make it a smoother game for Green Bay. And that's part of the reason why I have a low-scoring game.
And a big thing also with this Dallas team defensively that a lot of people are not considering, week one, the pass defense looked really good. I mean, they shut Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown out. Week 2 and 3, not so much. What we didn't have week 2 and 3, we have tomorrow. That's Deron Bland. So now you have the guy that, because Trayvon, if he has to cover the number one, he is no. My biggest worry for the team defensively is whoever Green Bay puts in the slot, because all three of their receivers can go in the slot. And ever since we lost Jordan Lewis to Jacksonville, who he has been playing phenomenal for the Jaguars, that's been one of our Achilles heels on the defensive side of the ball, is the slot. If Dallas can figure that out, which here soon they're going to get healthier defensively with other cornerbacks. We're playing guys that are normally on the practice squad. But I think having Deron Bland back in the lineup tomorrow helps this team. I'm still taking the Packers, but I just have this weird feeling.
Yeah, it's funny because, my late father, diehard Packer fan, And usually 50-50 games, I have a propensity for picking the Packers. Also because I think they're a well-run organization and one of the better teams in the league. But I do have a weird feeling that they're going to win this game, even though I think Micah Parsons, I don't think he's going to quite hit Joe Gallagher's prediction of 3 sacks, but awfully close. I'm going to go 2.5 sacks for Micah. But Zappy makes a good point. If there is one weakness in Micah's game, it's when you run literally right at him. And what better way than to already capitalize on the high emotions of a guy that visits the team that drafted him than by just putting him up and trying to make him get in his uncomfortable zone. I like Zappy's train of thought. Give me the Cowboys in a close game. Troy, you with us, or you think we're bugging out here?
I'm good. I'm going Green Bay 21-18.
Oh, a low scoring game.
So
Micah breaks out this game.
All right. Well,
if there's a guy, I don't think it's going to be Micah. I think it's going to be Rashawn Gary.
Yeah,
we're gonna be chip blocking Micah. We're gonna line Jake Ferguson up with Terrence Steele to help him block. I truly believe that Dallas is going to ensure that if we lose this game, it's not going to be us losing to Micah Parsons, because that would just set the fans off.
Zappy, I did want to ask you this before we move it along to the Jets in Miami. Do you think it is wrong for your owner, Jerry Jones, opting to not do any kind of tribute video for Micah, given his service to the Cowboys, more so his popularity?
No. I would have thought it was wrong if he did. What does he deserve a tribute video for?
So, in other words, you're saying that you got to be the cloth of like a Drew Pearson, a Michael Irvin, a Charles Haley. Guys, basically the point is guys who won or guys who contributed at a different level. Like Tony Romo. If Tony Romo ever played for another team, you would think that maybe he would be worthy because of all the time.
Right. No, to me, there's a lot of factors when it comes to this. One, the locker room presence. I said it a long time ago. I think Micah Parsons was a bit of a cancer in the locker room.
Secondly, you didn't care for him being a podcaster and being a little too personal about team affairs.
Yeah, no, I didn't. There was nothing that justifies him. What? Because he had 52.5 sacks in 4 years. I don't care. All those sacks were against nobodies. But now, if that Packer game in the playoffs, if we would have lost that game 27-24 and Micah Parsons balled out, and if the losses to the Niners in the playoffs, if Micah Parsons balled out,
although Micah's sack ratios are pretty damn good, you feel that revisiting a lot of the games, that a lot of his success has occurred against mid to bad offensive linemen or bad quarterback, or just teams that you can exploit in that regard.
10 against the Giants, 5 against the Commanders, 5 against the Panthers, 5 against the Eagles. None of those were against Lane Johnson. No.
Lane Johnson has always had his number. I have no choice but to agree with you there.
Yeah, he owns him. Look, Micah Parsons is a great player, but in the biggest of games, disappeared. Second half of the seasons, disappeared. And it's not like it was just 1 year.
Some of it's circumstantially schematic, where you can run away from him and do your due diligence to make sure. And sometimes, to your point, it's the other side of it where you're just not performing. So I think it's a little bit of both. It's going to be a very interesting scene tomorrow. And sorry, Dad, I just have a weird feeling your Packers are going to have a mini losing streak here, but I still think the Packers win this division and are a legitimate Super Bowl contender. This is a weird game tomorrow. Monday Night Football, we got the Jets and the Dolphins. This is what I would like to call the toilet bowl, the bowl of broken dreams. The only difference is Aaron Glenn. The only difference is Aaron Glenn's brand new to this losing, whereas Mike McDaniel is witnessing a team week in and week out that just doesn't give two shits. There is no nice way to say it. Tyreek Hill just continues to get his respectable numbers. There is not anything team driven on Tyreek Hill right now. I'm waiting for someone to just explode in this Miami locker room and take the reins as a leader, have a team meeting to say, guys, this is not it. I love Tua Tagovailoa as a person. I feel terrible that when you consider his neurological situation, when he took too many hits, that this is what he comes back to. Mike McDaniel, very inspiring story in terms of overcoming alcoholism, some of his demons, being a pretty good head coach early on. But right now, nothing is working. And unfortunately, I think Mike McDaniel is going to be the first coach to get fired in the league. The reason the Jets are going to win this game is because although the Jets are still very far away from their immediate goals, and one can only hope that Aaron Glenn gets enough time to right the ship, they're competing. They're playing hard. And that's the difference. Miami is a talented team that is not performing, whereas the Jets are trying to figure it out, but they're playing hard. The divisional matchup, I like the Jets to win this one. Give me the New York Jets 24. Give me the Miami Dolphins 20. The Jets get their first win of the season, and the Dolphins continue to just look, play, and perform miserably. And Mike McDaniel, unfortunately, is going to be out of a job by week 9, I believe. Give me the Jets to get their first W in part 1 of Monday Night Football. Troy, you're up, buddy.
I'm going Dolphins 31-21.
31-21 in favor of the Dolphins. Who do you think is the bust-out performer? Do you
Tyreek
think
Hill.
you think
Tyreek
Reed's
Hill.
going to get over the top and stretch out that Jets defense?
I do.
If it does go that way, I think the guy that can make them pay is actually Devin Achan, who I think people overlook how good this young man is. It's just that when you play with a team like this, and then even back it up to a couple of years ago when Achan had the injury issues and Mostert had that ridiculous year where he tied CMC for the most running back touchdowns. I think Achan is a very good player in a very toxic organization right now. And this toxicity is not just in the McDaniel era. This goes back to ownership. This goes back to Flores. This goes back even before that. The Miami Dolphins are not a well-run organization, and it's proving to be true. I just have two hopes that they can get some of the toxicity out of that building and that Tua Tagovailoa could stay healthy because he's one of the real good guys in this league. But you got the Dolphins. I got the Jets. Zappy, what's your final on this?
I think he's muted.
Yeah, I think Zappy might have had to step away for a second, so we'll bring him back in. In the meantime, we can always revisit this. We're going to talk about the final Monday Night Football game. Cincinnati Bengals at 2-1 traveling to Denver to take on the 1-2 Broncos. The absence of quarterback Joe Burrow was evident in Cincy's horrid 48-10 loss in Minnesota. Jake Browning should be better moving forward with a firmer grip on the offense. I mean, when you come in, there's so much. It's not just throwing the passes. You have to get acclimated with the complete playbook, and that is not the easiest thing to do. I mean, this is not Browning's first action. You know, he performed in a mixed bag kind of way a couple of years ago. But I personally think that going into this particular game, the Denver Broncos should be able to exploit the Bengals' weaknesses on defense. And while the Broncos have been the furthest thing from a well-oiled machine on offense, I do not trust this Bengals defense right now, and I think it's quite the blessing that the Bengals are 2-1. They got rather lucky in Cleveland a couple of weeks back. This is such an unfortunate situation because Joe Burrow on this team gives them an opportunity every Sunday. He's that damn good at what he does, but he's not there. Bo Nix, people are waiting for a signature kind of blow-up game from him, and this could be it. I mean, look at what happened just a week ago when you're talking about a guy like Carson Wentz, who I don't even think he started a game. Man, I got to really think about this. It's been a minute since Carson Wentz
says he
started a
was
game.
with the Colts.
Yeah.
My goodness. That's a minute ago.
Sorry, I had to step away. I'm gonna have to leave here in a second. I'm gonna make this one short and sweet. Dolphins with the W, 24-13. With this one, this is gonna be the Bo Nix coming out game, the game that everyone's waiting for. That's how I look at it. I think that they're going to be thinking that it's going to be a J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey type of game, but I fully expect Bo Nix to come out, have himself a 3-touchdown game, and go back to that Bo Nix we've been waiting for. Give me the Broncos to win this one. Give me the Broncos to win 34-13.
Quickly, Zappy, before you run out of here, I want to hit something quick on baseball. Congrats to Milwaukee Brewers, #1 seed. My prediction, we talked off air, is the Philadelphia Phillies to represent the National League. I don't think the Dodgers have the pitching. I don't think the Brewers are as good as everybody else thinks. American League, New York Yankees, Toronto Blue Jays tied for first. Winner of this division gets the 1 seed, and the road runs through them for home field advantage. What is your prediction for tomorrow, Zappy? Do the Blue Jays have a blip in the road? Do the Yankees jump? Who's winning this division? There's 1 day left in the season.
Toronto.
I hate to agree with you, but I do at my core. Having said that, go Rays, do us a favor. We let you use our minor league stadium. It's time to give us a favor back. Go get a W for us. Well, then again, they did give us Jose Caballero, who is doing quite the job. Got to keep tabs on Jazz Chisholm's injury. I am a little concerned about that. Not the time to be getting injuries. Troy, thank you for your time. Appreciate you hanging. And if you haven't already,
You're
make it a
welcome.
point. Oh, absolutely. Like and subscribe to the channel, the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast on Facebook Live, on YouTube. Check out the channels. Check out the V-Mix, the Vicious Mix with our guy, Idris Salam, on live365.com. Troy is out. 2 hours. I did not expect this to go this long, but, just kind of flowing in this convo. It's been fun bringing you the show. Enjoy your football, everyone, tomorrow. We got a pretty interesting slate. I am really excited to see what Jackson Dart brings to the table tomorrow. Until next time, I am Richie. Have a great rest of your night. We out.